Hi, good morning, everybody. How you doing today? Welcome to December 24th. I'm working through the Zodiac readings, and man, there is just so much going on in 2025 that I almost feel like if I just make a general reading about what's happening in 2025, y'all are going to get like, stop telling me about Venus moving. Tell me what it means for me. So I was going to do a general video about it, but let's see where we go after the Zodiac readings. There's certain things I really want to point out to you. So maybe for the new year, in the newsletter, I will definitely point out the things you should be paying attention to, regardless of your Zodiac sign. Okay. Regardless of your Zodiac sign. So if you're new to the channel, hello. And if you want to be notified about all my videos, please hit the subscribe button and hit that bell. And if you just like the video, hit the like button. That helps the channel get outside of the bubble that the algorithm has created and I have created, basically. Take accountability, Mary Jo. Okay, so let's see what's going on. That's how algorithms work. All right. Underneath, great adventure, take a risk, venture forward. Choosing your path, all is possible. No doubt about that. Protected by angels, you are cherished by the angels. I feel like some of you needed to hear that. Some of you are choosing a risky path in your mind, a risky path, but it is the path of healing. Something that you have to say. Mercury is finally going to be going direct in January in the sign of Capricorn, and that is a practical opportunity. Okay. Voyage of the heart, love flows through you and to you. I feel like we're starting to understand when we talk about unconditional love, we're starting to understand what that means and recognizing that the human experience is really conditional love. Okay. And that we're not really, and I feel for it. Like I feel, I've talked about this in all the twin flame readings, not all of them, but a lot of them. And we're talking about unconditional love and unconditional love. There's something that comes first, because the human experience, the duality of it makes unconditional love almost impossible. And I feel like if you're like, well, I have unconditional love for this person, there's conditions in it because there's conditions in the human experience. Okay. And what I mean by something comes first, which is acceptance. So if you are in a twin flame connection or you're in a love relationship of any kind, could even be, friendship, could be, people that you have love for, that it's not romantic love. There could be, sibling relationships and parental relationships and your children and all of this. Each one of those has a different flavor of love to it. I think we can all agree on that. And I think there's something coming in the age of Aquarius, which really shows us what unconditional love is. I don't feel like we've traversed Pluto, okay? Pluto moving from Capricorn into Aquarius. Pluto is about going into the depths of us and really dredging up these experiences for us to look at so that we can heal them, so we can get on the other side of them, and utilize those lessons in our life. We are just now with Pluto in Aquarius, so we haven't even begun to brook the gap toward unconditional love. And the first rule of unconditional love is acceptance, right? Complete acceptance for what is, whatever is, however you're experiencing a connection with another person. Acceptance for that person, regardless of flaws or hurtful actions. And also balancing that with self-love and self-protection. Because unconditional love is not fawn. Okay? Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Unconditional love is not, I love you no matter how much you step on me. That is not unconditional love, because you're not having love for yourself. Okay? So what unconditional love shows up for us is to be able to balance those things. Have love and acceptance. Unconditional love for another person means having unconditional love for you and for yourself. And I almost feel like that's the more challenging thing, especially in as we're working through energies of codependency and the raging epidemic of narcissistic tendencies in people just kind of blowing up and becoming like their main personality. Okay, so that's a feature, not a bug, because that is showing us where are we falling down in terms of unconditional love. And it's like, oh boy, unconditional love for a narcissist, really? Okay, no fawning, remember? And I feel like that even the bigger challenge is having unconditional love for ourselves. I mean, if you can't take a compliment, you are not in unconditional love. If you can't accept yourself for the way you are, then you're not in unconditional love, even for yourself. Okay, so let's keep going. This is about the next step in embracing what love is and all of its facets and choosing a path, choosing this next step, because as we are getting into Pluto and Aquarius, this is kind of the early bridge to Aquarian, the age of Aquarius. We still have the record of the age of Pisces playing while we're starting the record. Listen to me. Oh God, that's so 70s. Right? Having the two records play at the same time causes incredible cognitive dissonance, unless you're a really skilled DJ who can do those things. But I almost feel like the record of the age of Pisces is almost over. And we're in the last like minute or so, and each second is like a year of that tune. And the same thing goes with the beginning of the age of Aquarius record. The second is a year. Okay, and so we're in the last minute. So we got I mean, I don't know where that came from, but I feel like 50, 60 years. So some of us may not be on this planet when the age of Aquarius record is playing solidly without the age of Pisces. But we're in this type of overlap moment. And one of the biggest lessons is about love. It really is. It's about balancing unconditional love for the self and learning what it means, learning what unconditional love for other people means. We're not there yet. We are not there yet. Okay. So, I challenge you, those of you who have really stepped into your journey and done all this shadow work, because 2025 is a 9-year. It is an ending year. It is also a year where we're sort of gathering the lessons. That's what a 9-year is. It's like, okay, I see what the last 8 years has brought me, and I'm choosing which lessons are moving forward, which are kind of like put to bed, which still have time to go, but they may change form because now I'm in a different cycle. Okay. And so a 9-year is going to be even more cognitively dissonant with the two records playing at the same time. Okay. 2025 is that time. 2025 and to a lesser extent, 2026. But the real spiritual stuff is happening in 2027. So we're having these moments of shifts, these incredible shifts with the outer planets all shifting into air and fire signs. And I feel like if you look at how the planets are laid out, Pluto is the furthest out. What's beyond that is Eris, Eris, which has been in Aries my entire life and will continue to be. It's been in Aries essentially for 122 years. So Eris is, I used to call it like the feminine Mars. But it's not that. It's It's both, and the masculine and the feminine. It's also the way we are sort of working toward unconditional love, but you got to go through Pluto to get out there. You got to go through Pluto, you got to go through the shadow work, you got to go through Hades to get to that experience of unconditional love. There is no other way. So that's what spiritual bypassing is saying to you, that while there's a time for it, sometimes it's not sometimes. I feel like we all run into that place of like, okay, I just need a break from this. Okay. And then that's when you do some lighter kind of energy work with yourself, or that's when you learn some new stuff, or that's depending on what your proclivities are or your joys are, to like get you back, get you having some energy. It's very challenging to constantly be doing shadow work all the time, but we're not getting the lessons of Pluto if we're not getting that's it's dragging you through Hades to help you, right? And that feels like, oh, I don't like that so much, right? I don't like that so much. So what's being said here is, the reason I said this to you is protected by angels. On the spiritual path, the light workers, the star seeds are here to stand in the light regardless of the darkness. And 2025 is going to be a real test of that. Okay. So underneath is this Four of Wands, Two of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Six of Swords, and the Sun. So there's a sense here of it could go either way. This is very Capricornian energy. We just had Pluto in Capricorn for 15 years. We are now Pluto in Aquarius. It's like, it's so close still to Capricorn that there's going to be I feel like over the next 2 years, which I just outlined to you, there's going to be a reckoning for all of the lessons. So as you walk from Pluto, Pluto went into Capricorn in 08. And for the last 16 years, 16 years, we walked through all these lessons. So you're like, okay, here, okay, all right, I got a lesson. Okay. Like, you've collected all of these things. You've collected the ruby boots. You've collected the sword. You've collected your battle ostrich. You've collected your armor. You've collected your love and experience points. You've collected all the things. But this is a new level now. And those tools, what did you learn over the course of this last 16 years? And now it's going to be put to the test. And I feel like the next 2 years are going to be a very, very powerful test of these lessons. And it's sort of like it could go either way. This Two of Pentacles here, with this energy of those in power, it could go either way. And it's sort of like, are we going to, move on from an old paradigm towards the sun? I feel like that would be a really good thing. This is the same kind of, great adventure, take a risk kind of thing, moving forward, choosing the path to learn the lessons and to move on from the patriarchal energy that we've been in, because it has been so stunningly uneven. And so many people have suffered. So are we gonna move on from this? And as a collective, the jury is very much still out on that. But I think 2025 is going to really show us that you kind of have to pick a side. And I'm not talking about political polarization now. I'm talking about choosing to align yourself with the mission and purpose and the light that you're here to bring. Because there may be a lot of darkness around you. And the choice could be to just fade into black, fade into dark. If this is too much, I can't do it. But I'm here to say that that's not your job as a light worker. It's all due respect. It's easy to be a light worker when the light is more abundant. It's more challenging when you're the only light within a radius of miles energetically. So, first card out, Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. What is the passion? There's the Strength card, courage. This is going to take more courage than you think. It really is. It's going to require you to step into your power in a way that might be unpopular, even though it's about love. Jesus was about love. Take a look at that story. The Seven of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, the Strength card, the Ace of Wands. I love this. A love this keeps showing up. The Ace of Wands is going to be your constant companion, and the Ace of Swords, because look at the angels are holding on to that sword of truth, right? As long as you are in alignment with the energy of truth, you are going to be protected. It's your job to align yourself with these lessons, speak your truth. A lot of us, I want to say, what did I say the other day about, I'll have to go back and look at it. I'll put a pin in that for myself, that there's a lot of wounds around speaking your truth. There's a lot of wounds around that. And particularly in those who are having a Saturn return right now, Saturn return in Pisces. Saturn is going through Pisces right now. It's been there for about 1.5 years. It's going to be there for another year. And the lesson, depending on where it falls in your chart, a lot of that lesson can be about recognizing the karma. Pisces is karma, and whatever house it falls in. There's also a lot of issues around creativity, getting your creativity squashed. Speaking your truth has come up, as I've heard from a lot of you, that speaking the truth of this lesson, especially those of you who have a lesson in this lifetime that is pre-verbal trauma that you brought in with you from a past life, or trauma that happened to you before you were really capable of speaking. So under 2 years old. There can also be a wound. Dysfunctional families is a big wound that we are healing as a collective right now. And it does come down to, what is the cultural role, Capricorn? What is the cultural role that you were given in your family, and the healing of that role can have a lot to do with your ability to say it out loud, or to go against the hierarchy, right? Capricorn. Pluto in Aquarius doesn't care about the hierarchy. And so an Aquarius can also come across as cold, but it can also be kind of a helpful thing. If part of the reason you can't speak your truth is because you're too emotional about it, Aquarius doesn't give a shit about emotion. Aquarius says, King of Swords, you don't want the truth? Don't ask me the question. So that's Aquarian energy. So Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords coming out. Wow. Right next to it. That's amazing what I just picked up on that, protected by the angels. Three of Pentacles. This is about us as a collective working together. And that is, remember what I said about standing in, and in your light and feeling like you're alone in that. I really strongly have seen this, especially with this Four of Wands here. For those of you who have, third house, fourth house impacted by any of the astrological shifts going on in 2025, We're going from the first three houses are about your identity, and then the values that come from your family, and then siblings and community. And if we're shifting into the fourth house is home and family, choosing a different family. There can be a lot about that because it is your truth, and finding others, which is very much like our Pathfinder group, finding others who are shining their light. So it's not that it's, I mean, it is. It's not that it's easier to shine your light in a group of people shining their light, but it is. But that's not the the purpose is to coalesce the light, make it stronger. Okay, so I feel like there's a movement toward that. Two of Wands, 10 of Wands. Wow. Woo! 10 of Swords. This is the awareness. Some of you are going to be having this awareness that there's nothing to do, like putting down that burden because you've been dragging it around for such a long time means the end of a relationship. You've been the one who has been the glue in that relationship because you've been willing to sacrifice yourself. You've been willing to drag around this burden. And when you decide to walk away from that burden and go toward that Four of Wands, the relationship is over. So this could be with a parent, this could be with family, siblings, relations that are keeping you in this old paradigm, Pluto and Capricorn, keeping you in that old paradigm. Now, this is about speaking your truth. And if you align with that, if you have been out of alignment, I've been saying one thing to my family, but I'm a light worker here, and it diminishes your light. It's keeping your light under a bushel because you're out of alignment and you're wondering, why can't I manifest? Why can't I get to the next level of me expressing myself in the world? Why can't I, do the work that I'm here to do? Why is it not growing? Why is it not? Because we're out of alignment here. So the next step is about deciding to put down the burden and walk toward the collaborative Three of Pentacles. This 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords, Page of Cups, Tower, Knight of Wands, Judgment. This is a crossroads. There's no going back. Once you decide to take up the mantle, to choose the path, you should know you are protected by angels, but there's no going back. All right, I'm going to continue with this reading. If this is your reading, there's a link below. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the astrology. I want to kind of not overwhelm you with that, but I do want to share a few things. Okay, so link is below. I'll look at what you don't see coming, and we'll take a look just over the next 30 days. So not the whole year, okay? All right, link is below. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.